What's up, friends? Right out here, and today we're going to be looking at another one of my completed Mega MOCs. Now this is a skyscraper. It's probably going to end up in either my city or my space city, and as you can see, it's so tall I can't get my camera back far enough to get it all in frame. So as you can see, it's got, starting at the top, it's got this neat little dome structure. It's got some satellite dishes and some antennas, and then we go down and it's got 3 of these upper levels and a transition level and 5 main levels here, and then it's got a bottom level, kind of a base that's meant to be built in kind of a rocky outcropping. So let's zoom in on some of these and we'll take a closer look. Starting at the ground, this is the base. Now I could have built this on a 15 inch by 15 inch, or was it 48 by 48 gray base plate, but I did not have one. And if we pull out a regular size Lego base plate, you can see it's much too big to fit on there. So I had these knockoff plates that I was using for my train yard because they were significantly cheaper. So I built this little kind of, cobbled together base plate because one, these are stronger. They're much thicker and more rigid than Lego base plates, so it's good for these buildings. And it gave me kind of a buffer around the edges for something this big. So first, when I started, I wanted a rock outcropping kind of for it to sit on. So I got these rocks and I put these little cheese slopes to cover up all the things, all the edges and studs, and make it look pretty. We got these bricks sticking up here to kind of make it so it doesn't fall off. So it's, when you set the top layers on, it's between the cheese slopes and these bricks here. So it holds it in place quite nicely. So if we start on this side, I put these M-Tron figures in here just because I thought they were cool. They happen to be the right color, and it adds a nice little touch of class with that little detail. Also, I put these little red strips in here to kind of break up the monotony of the light bluish gray here. Or it might be light gray, I can't tell, or mixed together. Whatever was cheaper. And I used this black tile pieces to make it modularized. So this side and this side are mirrors of each other, but the other sides here are not. They're spaced a little differently. So it's got 4 of these little panel pieces here versus the 5 arranged like this. And there's 2 rock pieces here and 3 over here. It gives it a nice little touch that it's not the same on each side. And also it made it so, well, I built the upper levels and then built this under it on my computer programs to match it. So it needed to come out a little bit, and it just fits perfectly. Alright, so we move that out of the way and we look at one of the main bottom levels. The goal of this building in particular, was that I wanted to use some of these pieces right here. Now when I was a kid, I had a bunch of these on some various old space sets, and I had a few left over, and I thought, wouldn't it be cool to build a whole building like this? Excuse me. So I got a bunch of these, and I found some of these in another lot that I found, and I figured it'd be good, rather than just having a bunch of these or a bunch of these, kind of break it up with a bunch of different types of things. Looking back, it may have been better to put these on the side because these are a lot easier to find than these, but that's beside the point. So what I did, I designed these little kind of modular sections here, and then it's just a different, build out of the outside. But it has these nice little studs here as detail, and it's got the bricks with the bars, or plates rather, with the bars on it. It had another level of detail on the top and the bottom. And down here we have some grill pieces. Now I broke this up with these little 1x3 bricks in between these modular sections of my modular floor. You can believe that. And then I put these little faceted bricks right here on the corners. Rather than just having a pointed corner, it adds that little extra detail to it. So it is the same on all 4 sides. Now, if you're building a building like this, there's a lot of plates and bricks and stuff that just go into making the base. So all I did here was I made this 4 sides that are all the same, and there is some plates on the bottom and some tiles on the top that are holding it all together. So what I'm saying is this red part here is completely separate from this little row of bricks, which is separate from this, which is separate from this, and they're all just locked together with the row of plates on the bottom and this on the top. So if we take these off, they'll all fall apart again. So this made it somewhat unstable. So what I did was I used just some plates here connected to the inside of all these windows to kind of hold it and give it some rigidity. And actually, once you get it together, it's really quite strong and stable. If you take that out, it falls apart when you just look at it. But the point is, it's significantly cheaper to build it this way than it would be to build a full floor of plates. I mean, although looking back, if I could get them in one color, these strictly brick plates would fit in there quite nicely. But again, you can't really get them all in one color. But that's beside the point. But what I did to hold these levels together is these little bricks holding the, I forget what they're called, these hinge bricks here, are actual 2x2 bricks, so you can see them sticking out back here. So I just took a row of these 1x3 bricks, or 1x2 bricks, excuse me, stuck them on there, and so each level sits on top of that. So that's pretty neat there. So there's 5 of these levels, like I said originally. Alright, let's move up. So this is the transition level. I needed a way to get from the level we previously showed to the one up top that looks like this. So what I did was I took a bunch of these slope pieces and just made it a square, start up, and then just vertically with this. Fairly straightforward. So the problem was twofold, getting this to stay where it should. I needed something on the top to hold the top levels in place that was a little stronger than the bricks I just showed you, and there's nowhere you can see to clip it on the inside. So I just put these little 1x4 plates, or yeah, plates on here rather than tiles, to hold it, set it down so it's a little more stable. Now on the bottom I used, because you can't have these sticking up, so on the top one of these levels I took those out and just put these little bricks right here so it goes down into it rather than sticking up, because that would, I mean, if we do this just to demonstrate, it sits off the top. So rather simple solution, just take those off, put those on. So transition level's pretty neat. I like these slope bricks, it adds a little touch. The only thing I didn't do is offset them, so they're a little unstable if you poke at them a little bit. But as you can see, I've been moving them around, so it works just fine. So the next level is dead air here. One that looks like this. Move that out of the way. So this is actually more or less the same as the bottom levels, just arranged a little bit differently. It has the same little modular sections here, same little rows of faceted bricks, and this in here is actually the faceted bricks too, but it's just turned around the other way. But it's got the same neat little details, same little bulbs, same little octagon pieces here on hinges. Now I used, pull this off here, headlight brick, a 1x2 plate, and a hinge plate to attach it to this, and then a black cover here to cover that up. So that does good. Now one thing I will say is on Terry's tower, my old skyscraper, I had them like this so that it didn't show the color on the top here. The problem with that is they fall off really easily, and then they're impossible. This one's not so bad, but when you're like this and the building's together and you can't get in there, it's impossible to get it back on without knocking stuff off. But if you do it like that, you can stick your finger in there from the bottom, hold it together, and it's easy. Just a little tip from someone with a little experience in messing stuff up. But this uses the same method here to secure the top levels. They just sit on there nice and easy. And then it uses a similar little collection of plates in the middle to hold stuff together. And as you can see, there is in fact Lego on all of the bricks. All those haters out there. Anyway, I don't understand the fake Lego comments. Alright, so that one's pretty cool, and there's 3 of these levels that sit in the skyscraper. Now the final top level comes to the fun part here, which is this one. And we have to move the camera back just a little bit and up so we can get it all in. Okay, so I designed this. I'm designing all of my buildings really around these dome pieces because I love them so much. They're called panels. But I've got a skyscraper design for 4 of the 5 colors, and I need to work on one for the last one just because, you know, completion. So I designed these little gun pieces here. So it's got, hold it in frame, this little bar, a red dish, and then a little web dish on the outside, and it's designed alongside these little hinge plates. And there is a turntable down here, and it's got these little, what are they called, grill pieces to kind of give it some detail, covered up with color. And then I covered this whole thing up with these grill plates going different ways to kind of give it some more detail and depth. But when you put this on here, it does spin, so you can kind of point it at whatever satellite dish or, you know, foe you're trying to vanquish. So it's got some more of these slope plates here. Hold it together, and just before I forget, look at the bottom. It uses the same method that the other level used, and it's got these plates in it to make it rigid. So that's good there. Do a bricks are breaks it thing here and replace this. Okay, so then we moved up to these dome shapes. Now this one only came, this particular color anyway, only came in 1 set, I believe. So these ones aren't cheap. These ones aren't the most expensive of the 5 colors, but they're definitely not cheap. But I had collected 3 of them, and I had to actually buy one more for this. I had just been buying them for years whenever I happened to see someone with a good price, so I had 3 of them. Had to buy the 4th one, which is a bummer because it was expensive. But they're awesome. They're classic space through and through. Alright, so I finished off the top like I do most of my buildings. I put these little 3x6 plates with the cut off corners to kind of secure this all together, lock it in place. And then I put some black antennas in the middle, some trans neon green, and then shorten it out as I went out with red and such, just to give it that nice completion look with no studs on top. So once it's all assembled, I forget how many pieces it is, but it took a long time. I want to say there was upwards of 6,000. So I can't wait to put some lights in this one actually. I can't decide what color I should put. Hopefully it'll be, I guess probably just plain white lights would look good. It'd shine through the trans neon green here, or maybe I could find a black light to put in the middle and it would glow like they do. But yeah, so let's pan out a little bit more. Move the light out of the way. Maybe you can see all the pieces. So I hope you enjoyed this little look at this giant skyscraper. I can't wait to put it in my city once we get it rebuilt. But yeah, let me know what you think. I'm very interested to hear your comments or any suggestions you have to make it a little better. Yeah, keep it real. Check out more of these Mega MOCs. They are really fun to build, and I'm glad people are enjoying looking at them. Have a good day.